What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another portfolio update. So wow, we have had a nice little recovery from the tariff lows. Obviously a lot of it was spurred from the tariff pause, reduced tariffs between China and America. So that leads some people thinking that there are some high hopes for a free trade deal happening. If there is a free trade deal between China and America, yeah, that's going to do bits for the which is the stock market in general. Obviously, I don't think personally that there will be one. Trump does seem heavily set on tariffs to some degree. We did see that even with the 90-day pause, he's sitting at 30% tariffs and China's sitting at 10%. So, obviously China has other stuff of like making that higher, of their currency value, like fluctuations. They artificially suppress their currency, making the exports, cheaper. So that's kind of another tool they use. That's why Trump's kind of adamant on them being a bit higher. So yeah, basically the stock market has been eating this up, 10% over the past month. If you look at the past week, up 5% over the past week. Yes, it's just been, straight up in the stock market, and obviously we've seen that in my portfolio. So if you guys look at a new addition to portfolio, yes, you guys can no longer say I'm not diversified, because I have a new addition thanks to you guys. If you guys remember in the last portfolio update that I did, I asked you guys, now that I've hit 500 Tesla shares, what shares should I add to my portfolio? And the person with the top comment said to add Nvidia. So if we go there first, Nvidia's up 13.24% in the past week. And if we see, yep, I do own one share of Nvidia, up 11.09% in pretty much just a week. So yeah, that's not bad. I know it's not a lot. I will continue to add to this position. I'm thinking of doing once a month, the top comment, I buy a share of the top comment's choice. So yeah, for the month of May, this was a share. One share of Nvidia, up 11.09%. Yeah, thanks guys for your suggestions. I'm up 11.09%. Obviously, nothing in this video is financial advice. I do not recommend you just listen to random people on the internet what you should invest your money into. So yeah, this is just I already had Nvidia as a buy in my mind. So yeah, yes, you guys suggested it, but I was also did my own due diligence and research. So there's that. If we go into my other position, this has gone up a lot. If you look at the Tesla of the 1 week, we're up at 14.04%. On the month, we're up 40.82% over the past month. Yes, it was oversold in my opinion. Just with all the tariffs and but we have got full self-driving coming like right around the corner. So I think a lot of this is in anticipation of the full self-driving. That's literally less than a month away. We're middle of May, and Tesla still saying their full self-driving software is going to launch in June in Austin. So, and obviously if that rolls out well, then it's going to expand to the rest of the United States. So that is very bullish. We saw that Waymo, who's already operating their full self-driving fleet, they only have about a couple thousand cars, and they're already at $250 million in revenue. So to people to say that this isn't going to be profitable for Tesla, they only have to have 10, 20, 30,000 cars on the roads, operating this to be getting billions in revenue. So yeah, this is obviously, as they scale more to get the more demand, they are going to have to lower prices. So we are going to have to see what is the marginal marginal revenue per unit, and if it's worth expanding. Obviously, I do think Tesla will just continue to basically expand their robo-taxi network at cost, just to gain market share. So obviously, if we actually look at profitability, yes, it might not impact the EPS straight away, but over the long term, I see it as being really bullish. So yeah, currently I own 407 shares in my ISA account, currently valued at $103 £104,000, nearly £104,000. So yeah, it's nice to be back over the six figures mark. You can see that I'm up 31.27%, up £24,000. Average price of $252. So obviously, what does that mean for my portfolio? So if we go over to my portfolio, we can see I'm currently sitting at a value of 104,194. 104,194. If we look at the 1 year, I'm at a rate of return of 70%. You'll see max, I'm at a rate of return of 53.1%. On the 1 month, I'm up 37.7%. And on the 3 months, I'm still down because Tesla is still down massively from its all-time high. If we do look at the 1 year, we have recovered, from the low of £66,000 back up to 100. That's nearly a double from the low. But again, we're still quite away from what the all-time high of the portfolio was. I do think we'll get back to that, sometime this year. So I'm not really worried. If we go, we can see that I have like £100 in cash. 407 shares of Tesla, up 31.27. Got 1 share of Nvidia, up 11.09%. So yeah, guys, I'm officially diversified. Obviously that's a joke. If you're all in on one stock and you have 1 share of, another, it doesn't mean you're diversified. I will continue to build up my positions in other companies. It's just that like my thesis for Tesla is so strong that I think the opportunity is too good to miss. And obviously a lot of you guys will be clowning me in the comments for that. It doesn't really bother me. So yeah, if we go into the asset allocation, I'm currently, very, very much diversified, as you guys can see. 99.9% in Tesla, 0.1% in Nvidia. So yeah, my unrealized result, is pretty much like very, very much close to my Tesla result, 31.27, but because of my 11.09 in Nvidia, I'm up 31.25%. And obviously, if you guys are wondering why this number is different to this number, is because the rate of return also bases how much money you put in as well. So even when you're down, if you're putting money in, you can see a positive rate of return, which is what I saw for a lot of this, even though, I was technically down here. I was basically break even here, but I had a rate of return of 15% just because I continued to put money in and my portfolio was growing. But yeah, that's basically what it means. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with anyone who might be interested. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.